They said it couldn't happen.
Ooh.
They said we were clickbaiting.
Ooh.
But a Chiefs cornerback is returning from IR, and we're going to talk about it. Good morning, Chiefs Kingdom. Welcome in to Good Morning, Chiefs Kingdom with ACU. We got some good news for you this Monday morning, don't we, Mike?
We got some great news for everyone.
Before we get to it, we got somebody powering this live stream.
We do. Head over to betus.com. Check out what they got going on right now. If you use code YouTube150, you're going to get 150% deposit match bonus on that first deposit. On the next two, you're going to get 125% deposit match bonuses. Those are up to $2,000, so take advantage of all those free plays. The site's easy to use. There's plenty of props on there. Go to betus.com, sign up using promo code YouTube150. Let them know all chiefed up sent you their way. Steve, we got some big news to talk about today.
Huge.
I'm going to bring it up on the screen just so everybody can look at it. You can marvel in it. You can just celebrate to it. Round of applause. Round of applause right now, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news. The Chiefs are going to designate Jaylen Watson back on a 21-day practice window starting today. Starting today, Steve.
Today?
Today. Jaylen Watson's coming back. Who day? Today. That's what's happening. Jaylen Watson, look, he's not going to play this week. We know there's questions and there's concerns about his stamina or this or that. He's been posting videos with him being able to run for weeks now. So he is probably pretty much caught up on his stamina, his conditioning, things like that. He's probably had to test this surgery, this ankle, this fracture. He's done all this. He's been working in a pool. He's been doing everything. He's actually been cutting and things like that. So, Steve, it was inevitable he was coming back. He was hinting about it. We were trying to tell people it was going to happen. We had an entire show. We brought our boy on from Arrowhead Live. He'd come over here. He was telling us about his injury and how it translated over. And people said we were clickbait, Steve. They said we were stupid. They said this is dumb. Why are you talking about this? He's not going to play this year. He's never going to play again. That's what they said.
Ever.
Okay? Everyone was wrong. Suck it.
Hey, this is great news for the Chiefs.
Keep a little positive outlook in life, ladies and gents. Don't be so negative all the time.
Yeah, you tell them, Mike. You tell them. But no, this is great news for the Chiefs, man. And that's the thing about it. Like, I don't think anyone was really worried because of the way that, like, Josh Williams has stepped up lately. And, of course, McDuffie's locked down. Najee Johnson's been a little, but, you know, he's still a solid corner. But this just puts it to the next level. So now you have Jaylen Watson coming back and you have Josh Williams playing at a higher level. Now maybe you don't have to have the in the game during the playoffs. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, obviously Jaylen Watson was CB2. This dude played, like, exceptionally well. He actually played above and beyond what they thought. Because if he would have been as good as he looked, they would have never been, you know, all offseason and everything. Everybody's like, what about CB2? What are we going to do? And then it was like, oh, well, Jaylen Watson's right there. Oh, yeah, Josh Williams is there. He can still play. He was in the doghouse apparently all year because he had 2 penalties. God forbid the guy has 2 to 3 penalties.
But he's been killing it, though.
Yeah. But look.
He's great at playing corner.
It's awesome because actually the injury forced guys like Josh Williams and Najee Johnson to get more playing time. It forced guys like Christian Roland Wallace to get more playing time. So now they are more savvy. They have more time under their belt. This is going to be great. Steve, does it not feel like the three-peat is inevitable at this point? They just keep on piling on us. Crap after crap storm and this and this and this. And everybody, Hollywood comes back. And then Jaylen Watson's coming back. And Steve, just yesterday, other big news we're going to get into in just a little bit. And I'm sure everybody knows about it. And you're probably pissed off about it like I am.
Mike,
but Steve, it feels inevitable right now.
Petty Pat is back, and he's about to snap his effing fingers and end everything. That's what's about to happen.
That's what's about to happen.
Hey, if you guys are super horned up about Jaylen Watson, do us a favor, hit that like button real quick. Show us how horny you are by hitting the like button. Help us get this out to more people this morning. We appreciate you being here. If you're just rolling in, we are talking Jaylen Watson.
Jaylen Watson.
Back from the IR. People said it couldn't happen, but here we are. Here we are. So hopefully he'll be ready to go in the playoffs. Do you think he's going to be ready to go? First thing.
Yeah, dude, I think he's going to.
Divisional round, just ready.
Yeah, I mean, if you're opening up a 21-day window, we've seen now Andy Reid and them open up several 21-day practice windows, and they've practiced on the first week, or they've played in the first week. I want to say Pacheco and Omenihu did not in their first week. I think they would come back on their second week. But I'm pretty sure Butker come back his first week, and he had an entire knee surgery, and now that was a lot different than what Jaylen Watson had to endure. A lot different, cutting and things like that. Obviously, a corner compared to a kicker, a little different. But I think within 2.5 weeks, he's back, and he's probably in the starting lineup. I think he's ready to go by the very first game. I don't know who's going to feel the wrath of the full Chiefs team just on petty level 1,000. But whoever it is going to get freaking smoked week 1 of the playoffs, Steve.
Absolutely, man.
Well,
Mike, I know, we all know what you meant. David knows what you meant. He has a 5-bomb here. Says, would love to have Willie Gay back for the playoffs. What's going on with Willie Gay? Did he get cut from the Saints or something?
I don't know. Last time I heard, William was still rocking with the Saints. It's possible, but I don't think so.
I haven't heard anything.
I think he just misses Willie Gay. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable. Willie Gay was fun on the team, right?
Yeah, he was a mushroom. He was a fun guy.
He brought the energy on the defensive side of the ball. But hey, our linebackers have been playing great, so we'll be okay without him, Dave.
No, he's still with the team. He's still with the Saints.
All right. Well, Mike, you mentioned some other big news. Patrick Mahomes has not been voted to the Pro Bowl for the first time in his career. And on top of that, I'm going to go ahead and say it, the second best cornerback in the league, a top 2 cornerback in the league, did not make the Pro Bowl.
That's a travesty.
Why are they bringing out Petty Pat for the playoffs? What are they doing?
I honestly think, and I did an entire short yesterday and dropped it last night, and I said the Pro Bowl is a sham. It's always been a sham. They have reduced the game down to literally worse than watching flag football. It is pathetic. These are grown men that won't hit each other because they're afraid they're going to lose some money here and there. Okay, right. We'll change the format. Do something, but give us a product that looks like football. They get on there and play these. They're playing PlayStation versus each other, man. Like, who wants to watch that crap? Okay? And then the whole entire fan voting thing, it's ridiculous. It's stupid. It's a popularity contest. And this year, and from here going forward, the narrative is always Patrick Mahomes sucks. He stinks. The Chiefs, blah, blah, blah. They're overrated, this and that. And it plays out right in front of it, makes the league look stupid to not have a guy that has won back-to-back Super Bowls carry a team that's had 16 guys on the IR to a 15-1 record, and you don't make the Pro Bowl because your numbers, we're turning into the NBA here, man. Everything's about individual stats and individual numbers. Does this not remind you of exactly how the NBA looks, where everybody just wants to go out and put up 40 points a night? You've got to have triple doubles. You've got to be the big guy on campus. You can't be a team player anymore. If you're a team player, you get crapped on.
Mike, if it's going that route, you're going to have guys not even wanting to play every game. Like,
that's probably going to happen soon.
I'm only playing once a month, okay? But, like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's dumb. I think they've lost sight of what these awards even mean. Most valuable player is now just who has the most touchdowns.
It's a stat. It's a stat padding thing.
It doesn't make any sense. It's really stupid. And you know what? And that's the thing about it. A lot of people would argue with us. I'm sure there's people in the chat that have the opinion that they think it should go by the stats. But, I mean, I'm sorry, but there's a couple of things that just do not make sense. And the only thing that makes it make sense is the fact that the world has Chiefs fatigue. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Patrick Mahomes not being mentioned in the MVP conversation, not firmly being a top MVP candidate, is absolutely insane. His team's 15-1. He's dealt with 16 freaking players being on the IR. He's had seven game-winning drives this year. Like, Patrick Mahomes has put this team on his back even when he's not playing his best. And that's part of it. Like, he's not been playing his best. And things haven't been going his way, Mike. But he still overcame it. And he still put his team in a position to be the 1 seed going into the playoffs to three-peat. And he's not talked about for a most valuable player candidate. That's freaking absurd.
Dude, he doesn't even have to win. It's just the fact that you're not even talked about. You're not even considered. That's what's crazy about it. Because, look, we can all agree Patrick Mahomes has not had his best year. He's looked bad at times. He's even looked atrocious at times. But the point is you got to take into some consideration here the fact that he has had literally half of the offense on IR. This dude is dealing with several different weird things. A lot of his metrics and a lot of his turnovers in the first 7 or 8 weeks, they were not even turnover-worthy plays on his end. You know, Juju flips up a ball in the end zone and gets a turnover. The dude's not committed a turnover in 7 or 8 weeks now. You can see how it's came along. I just think it's a little disrespect to the Chiefs. It's a disrespect to everything, and it's across the board. And look, I want to know what's going on. This is the entire Chiefs fatigue thing you're talking about, and allow me to rage for just a second because this is ridiculous. Why are the Chiefs 15-1? Why are the Chiefs? Because every single person on the planet thinks Patrick Mahomes sucks and he's washed. Okay? Every single player on the planet. We didn't get a skill player in the Pro Bowl from the offense. We got our interior 3 offensive line, which assumes that we've been playing with trash tackles all year long.
And a tight end.
Okay, we did have
because
the tight
he
end,
dates
Travis
Taylor
Kelce.
Swift.
Probably the most undeserving year that he's ever been voted to the Pro Bowl. He gets in. So it's just really fun.
And he was the top voted player in the league.
We have no good defensive players, apparently. Just Chris Jones. We have a top 5 defense and only one player. The Ravens have like 10 guys.
Look,
so
dude.
it cracks me up that the Ravens can double us, and they've got a super team over there in Baltimore, but they've lost 7 times the amount of games we have. Okay, they're going to lose again in the playoffs. It cracks me up. Andy Reid's not even mentioned for Coach of the Year, so we don't even have a good coach.
That's the craziest thing.
How are we winning the games if we don't have a good quarterback and he's not carrying us? And our offense must have carried Mahomes. No, our offense stinks. We had one old 35-year-old Travis Kelce that made the playoffs besides the interior 3 offensive line, okay? That was it. And then, maybe the defense is carrying us. Oh, we've got one defensive player, Steve. The Browns got more defensive players in than we did.
Well, here's the thing, Mike. It doesn't matter how much you rant about it. When you have a system set up, first of all, the Pro Bowl needs to be just put away.
It's ridiculous. The Pro Bowl is stupid,
Just
dude.
get rid of it. The game's ass. It's stupid. All the guys are sissies these days. They don't want to play. It's dumb. Like, just get rid of it. But on top of that, you have it set up to where it's fan voted. When you have a system in place that allows the Swifties to say who is the top player in the league for the
I'm
Pro
glad
Bowl.
It's Kelce, but let's
look. No shade to Travis Kelce. But when Taylor Swift fans can decide who the top voted person is in the Pro Bowl, that just shows you how stupid it is.
What if Taylor Swift were dating Anthony Fersker? You going to put him in the Pro Bowl too now? Like they would have had him the top voter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She could have dated John Denver's cousin, and the dude never played a snap of football, and if he made a practice squad somewhere, he's going to get on now. It's kind of absurd. Like, they want to bring the fans into it, but the fans, I think this is not putting Trent McDuffie in is a bigger travesty than Mahomes. Somehow.
Dude.
I don't know how I can even say that, but that's true. And the fact that he's not in there just shows you how much the common fan hates the Chiefs, disrespects the Chiefs, and they have zero football intelligence.
None. And here's the best part about it, Mike. They hate the Chiefs so much. They're so sick of the Chiefs. They're so tired of Patrick Mahomes. They're so tired of everything that we're going to slide them at every chance we can get. We're going to talk trash at every chance we can get. But you have awakened the freaking beast. You have just shot yourself in the foot because you woke up Petty Pat. Petty Pat's going to come out and play. He's not going to say a word about this.
Petty Pat's going to he's just note taking. He's saying, let me get my pen.
He's sitting there with his pencil. He's sitting there with his pencil, Mike. You know how it is.
Someone stole my pen.
What, someone stole your giant pencil?
Found it.
Who was using
Petty
that?
Pat. He's making notes. He's Petty Patting over here. He's like, look. He's just.
But yeah, he's not going to say a word. He's going to come out, and he's going to be the best player to ever play football again in the playoffs. He's going to kick everyone's ass with a vengeance. It's
going to be glorious to watch.
Mike, let's get to the chat. Let's chat
a
little
up.
bit. We got our boy Flapjack with the 5 bombs. Thanks for the Christmas card, homies. A lot of players in the NFL hating on us. Ain't it 2/3 the votes are players? Is that how that works?
I'm not for sure. I think the fans get a little bit of say, but look, they get to doesn't the coaches get to come in. Steve, they slotted L'Jarius Sneed last year, and it took Peyton Manning to put him on the roster, and he was one of the best corners in football.
Yeah,
that just shows how much people hate the Chiefs.
Okay, so here it is.
They won't pay attention to anything.
Mike, listen, there are 3 factors that go into each year's selections. A fan vote, player vote, and coaches vote. Fans are permitted to vote from Thanksgiving through Christmas, while the players and coaches are polled at some point in that same stretch. So Flapjack's right here. It's not just the fans. It's not just the Swifties. It's not just the people that hate Patrick Mahomes. It's not just the people that are sick of the Chiefs.
What do you mean? The coaches and the other players hate us.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't think they got fatigue of the Chiefs? They don't want to give us any credit.
They're just jealous.
You've woken a beast is what you've done. Because I even think Trent McDuffie is going to somehow get even better. Like this cat, yeah. I think the Chiefs are going to put this on the bulletin board, and they're going to study this, and they're going to go to sleep looking at it every single night. And there's going to be hell to pay come playoffs. And by the way, we're getting healthier. And Andy's getting even more horned. He's not even sleeping at night. You know what he's doing? He's dreaming of new plays. He's dreaming of cheeseburgers, probably interrupting his new plays, but he's getting it together, you know. And it's going to be glorious to watch come January. Actually, it is January. It's going to be glorious to watch come a few weeks.
Mike, before you know it, it's going to be next January.
I'm still in 2024.
Appreciate you, Flapjack. Ty in the house. What's up, Ty? He says, what's up, fam? Happy New Year's, everyone. Hope you all are doing good. Doing great, Ty. Appreciate you, man. Good to see you. Happy New Year's. Dude, why would you piss the Chiefs off?
They don't learn. The media has been doing this for years.
Why would you do that?
These people won't learn. They cannot comprehend basic fundamental things.
They just won't even listen. They won't even listen to other people, like people that have experienced this. Okay, like there was Amon-Ra St. Brown. Is that his name? Yeah, he has a freaking podcast, and he had Deebo Samuel on there the other day.
Oh yeah, I caught that clip.
Boy, they brought up, man. What do you do when you're playing against Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl or in the playoffs? You know, and he knows from experience twice. And he said, all you can do is pray.
Right.
Okay. So this is the people that have experienced this level of Patrick. They say you can't do anything about it. You just have to pray to God that you might beat him. Like that's what they're saying. But these morons don't listen. They're just out there poking the bear.
Poke.
What are they doing? Hey, you know what? But I love it.
Wasn't he telling the story of Jawaan Jennings saying that they were up by 3 and he was like, we're going to win the Super Bowl. And he's like, Patrick Mahomes is on the field.
Right.
You need to pray a little bit.
Yeah.
And his prayers were canceled out by the voodoo. Okay.
He didn't even try. He must not have prayed.
JCP. I don't know what he did.
JCP let the boy watch for the 5 bomb. Says, do we have any word on if Steven Nelson is going to play this weekend? Also, Mahomes about to let the boy watch after that snub. Ridiculous. Mike, he's going to let the whole world watch. Petty Pat's coming out. I'm
Steve, Pat may put
there's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my
games.
mind that Petty Pat is making an appearance this playoff season. There's just no doubt in my mind. What better time for it to happen, too, when they're chasing the 3-peat. They're in the final stretch here. All they have to do is go out and put some bench players on the field against the Broncos, right? Everybody rest. and then we're going to come out and we're going to win 3 games to make history. 3. And you pissed him off. You pissed off Pat.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is like, it just irritates me because, like I said, when you don't put Andy in the Coach of the Year conversation, he's excluded.
That's so stupid.
A 15-1 team that wrapped up a number 1 seed. He's getting 21 days of rest, 16 guys on the IR. Okay, we've had to go back and dig up the ghost of Chiefs past and bring them back, and he's still winning with them. Bro. Okay, it's ridiculous. But you know what this is playing into? Because again, if Patrick Mahomes isn't an MVP candidate and he's not the one carrying the team, if the other players aren't good enough to make the Pro Bowl, so they didn't carry Pat. The defense wasn't good enough. They have one guy on the Pro Bowl, so they didn't carry Pat. Andy didn't coach them to no wins because Andy's not even in the Coach of the Year. So they just miraculously woke up and got the 15-1. And you know what this plays into? It plays into the full narrative that everybody's bought into, that the officials and the refs are responsible for the 15-1. Because Mahomes stinks, Andy Reid's overrated. This is all. The media has created this. And the media is getting ready to set you all up for the biggest failure there ever was. It is going to be glorious to watch the tears and the meltdown coming from everyone when we three-peat and become the first team to ever do that. It's going to be glorious to watch them cry and whine and say that everything's scripted. And by the way, the same ones that saying it's scripted is going to be back watching next year and crying again. If it's really scripted, don't watch it.
But they like it, man. They like wrestling, you know.
Well, go watch wrestling.
Hey, shout out JCP for also becoming a member.
Let the boy watch.
And our boy John Hill becoming a member. Shout out, John. Mike Cali Cash has a 5-bomb here. He says, Joe Montana made me a Chiefs fan. I'm from the Bay Area. And Brady surpassed him in my eyes. So if Pat three-peats, does he surpass Brady at that point? That's a good question, Callie. And that's going to be something talked about a lot after the Chiefs three-peat this year. Okay? That's going to be all over. The media is going to go from just completely ignoring Patrick Mahomes because Josh Allen is so great. And Lamar Jackson's so great, and Joe Burrow's so great, to kissing his ass all offseason is what's going to happen. They're going to be having this talk. Is he the greatest of all time? Over and over and over again. And that's the thing. Mike, if Patrick Mahomes three-peats this year, I have no qualms, none, saying that he is the greatest of all time. If he three-peats, I don't care if he ever wins another football game in the National Football League. He surpasses Tom Brady.
Yes. Yeah, if you do something that's never been done before, the hardest thing to do, everybody's saying it can't be done. If he makes it done and he does something that Brady could not do, you're definitely firmly in the conversation. Is he at this point in his career, he is just as good or surpassed Tom Brady in almost every single metric. So you can't argue a finality with a guy that played for 47 years versus a guy that's on his 7th or 8th season. You just can't do it. You can't do it, but you can put them in the conversation. And the thing about it is, Steve, we've reviewed some of the stuff. Brady played till he was 112, okay?
Right.
This dude is still secretly playing for some
LeBron
team. We just don't know who it
football,
is.
Right?
Yeah. He's putting on his Russell Wilson mask and going out and playing for the Steelers every week or something. I don't know what's happening. But look, we've calculated it. It's going to be almost impossible for Patrick Mahomes to beat this guy on yardage thrown. Passing yard. Patrick Mahomes is going to have to put up 4,500 yards a year and play till he's 45.
Who cares?
Okay? That's what I'm saying. You can't just look at the end of the career and be like, well, he didn't have the right numbers, so he's not the GOAT. I think at this point, the three-peat has to go well high in that conversation and make you that. And, Steve, you're giving the media too much credit because you say once the three-peat happens, they'll be adorning Patrick Mahomes. No, they won't.
Just for the offseason.
They
For
won't.
the offseason. They will.
All the offseason is going to turn into is, why is Bo Nix now going to take over the AFC West?
No,
Justin Herbert
that's when we
will
get
be
closer
back.
to the season. I just mean immediately
Steve,
after
they
the
think
Super Bowl.
Jaden Daniels is a better quarterback. He is actually higher on list right now. Jaden Daniels is a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes, according to some of these idiots.
They're morons. Appreciate the
Why
5,
do people
Callie.
still watch ESPN and NFL Network? I don't even know. I don't even turn it on half the time.
Shout out Jay. Been a member for 16 months now. Let's freaking go Chiefs. Let's go, Jay. Our boy Shane Boring in the house with the 2-bomb.
Shane
says, what a crazy season. And now this. Feed the fire. Dude, go ahead. Like at this point, the Chiefs have taken the villain role, and
We've asked for it.
Now you become a bully, and now you have people poking the bear. You have people feeding the fire. They're throwing a little gas on it, if you will.
Right.
What are they trying to do?
Steve, if we're the villain, we're the Joker, okay? Watch the Joker without Batman. So when we pound Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes gives him the whole MVP, he's going to do something petty with him. He's going to, count his rings. He's going to do something.
Yeah, he's got them.
And we're going to drink the tears of the haters. It's going to be glorious. I cannot say this enough. This may be the best postseason because of what they've done over the past few weeks and the way they've treated the Chiefs all year and the way that it's just this false narrative of the refs carry the Chiefs and this and that and everything else. I actually had a Packers fan the other day be like, oh, the refs and the Chiefs. I went back and looked, and for the past 2 years, guess who's got more penalty calls than the Chiefs? The Packers. Guess who's got more first downs because of penalties? The Packers. The Packers apparently get carried by the refs. So if you do that with almost every team, you're going to lose this metric. So somehow this became a talking point, and it has just caught fire because you got a bunch of ass clowns out there that just love.
You can't talk about facts.
Right. They love to just hate on the Chiefs. And you want to know why? It's because the Chiefs fans are crazy and the Chiefs fans are relentless, and it gives them all the clicks and it gives them all the attention. That's the only reason they're doing it. Why do you think Jim Blowhard over here on NFL Live comes out every freaking day and says that the Chiefs are going to lose this week? I want to say Adam Ranks probably said the Chiefs are going to lose every game this year.
Who?
Yeah.
Right. I really don't know who you're talking about.
Adam Rank. Adam Stank.
Adam Stank. They don't want to talk about facts, Mike, because even if you bring up facts, like the Chiefs are not called, like they don't get all the calls, and you bring up the hard numbers, right? They don't go by that. Well, just watch it. You know, they do it at the right times.
If you don't want to bring up stats and you just want to watch it, well, then why are you not watching Patrick Mahomes get the 15-1? Why are you looking at his stats?
Because it's
just whatever fits their narrative.
Perry with the 5 bombs says Happy New Year to the greatest podcasters for that ass. Did you see the blown Tannenbaum say on ESPN that the Chargers are better and will beat us?
When have they never? I've never seen a sports show ever say that we were going to beat the Chargers ever since Andy Reid's been here. I don't think they've ever said we were going to beat the Chargers.
I have a question. Are the Chargers going to be in the playoffs?
I don't even know. I don't think. Look, I honestly think with Carson Wentz, we're probably going to still put up a hell of a game versus the Broncos. But if we were to drop it, the Broncos are just in. Yeah. They're just in. Nothing else happens. So if we do just lose the game because we sit all of our players, then the Broncos get in. Sorry. I almost called them San Diego. Sorry, Chargers of L.A. that nobody likes you. Look, why did you even go to L.A.? People in L.A. don't even like football. They're too busy looking in the mirror and putting on their makeup to care about football.
No one cares about that. Except for that one little Asian lady.
Yeah, the little Asian Chinese
the one that's
plant.
Like a plant. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what her nationality is, but they really just hyped her up as if she was the greatest football fan on the planet.
It was just literally just her going over and over again.
She was so angry.
Hey, that was it. That was all.
I can show you 10 million of those in Kansas City every time Patrick Mahomes and them can't get a first down.
Appreciate you, Perry. Mike, we got another 5 bomb from boy Flapjack. He says, I guess Mahomes didn't meet his standard of 60 touchdowns, 5 interceptions to 6,000 yards. Only quarterback they set that standard for. It's true. I mean, he already is playing on a different level, right? A different playing field, if you will. He's always got to do extra. And is that because people hate him, or is that because he is so great? Like, do people hold him to a higher standard? Do the other guys get to play by a different set of rules?
Yes. Patrick Mahomes has always held a different set of standards because when you want to start looking at stat padding, I'm sorry, I said it backwards. When you want to start looking at that and you want to start looking at just total touchdowns and this and that and everything else, Patrick Mahomes has 26 touchdowns. I don't know if that's total. I don't know if that's passing, whatever it is. But look, he doesn't run QB sneaks. He hasn't ran one in years. That's how Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson get half of their stuff.
Yeah.
They get half of their stats off a play that Patrick Mahomes
Josh
won't
Allen
even
anyway,
run.
Yeah.
Okay?
Sure.
If you was to take the 6 to 7 touchdowns that Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, and maybe Carson Steele, I don't know if Carson Steele's got in the end zone, but if you take their 2-yard touchdown runs, anything under 2 yards, and you give that to Mahomes on a QB sneak, Mahomes is now over 33, 34 touchdowns. If you give him the touchdown that Juju Smith dropped versus the Saints in the end zone and got picked, he's now at the 35 touchdown mark. Okay? So what are we doing? Do you watch the games or do you just watch the stat lines?
He has to have 50 plus. He set that standard his second season in the NFL.
He did, but something tells me if he had 50 plus touchdowns this year, they would still be sucking it for Josh Allen.
You already
They
know.
are not going to quit until Josh Allen does something. And look, he's going to have to win an MVP because that is just given to you. Okay? You could say it's earned, but it's given to you because honestly,
Right.
Lamar Jackson has beat him in every metric this year. Go look at the metrics. I think he's ahead of Josh Allen in every single category.
Who knows? Who even cares at this point?
But he's never winning the Super Bowl. It's not happening.
Hey,
not happening.
You know who is, though? Petty Pat. Petty Pat's going to add another one to that. If you guys are just rolling in, we appreciate you being here. Do your boys a favor. Hit that like button. Get this out to more people. Mike, a Chiefs cornerback is back from the IR. Somebody said that everyone said he couldn't be back. And we're going to talk about it some more. We have a lot more chat
I'm
to get
excited
to.
for Nick Bowden.
We have a lot more
Why
chat
did I say
to
Nick
get
Bowden? I'm excited for Jaylen Watson. I'm reading the chat. People think I'm wearing a Nick Bowden jersey. I threw it back further, guys. This ain't Nick Bowden. This isn't Nick Bowden, ladies and gents. I've seen a few people. This is the Honey Badger. I rocked an old Honey Badger jersey today. The old 3-2.
Because why not?
Why not?
The Honey Badger. No, but we're going to talk a lot more about Jaylen Watson in just a second, guys, because I know you guys are horned about that. And we got to have a lot more chat to get to. Just real quick, though, we do have a little ad we got to play. So do your boys a favor, stick around for us. We'll be right back, and we'll get to your chats.
Today's show is sponsored by Manta Sleep Mask. You got to check this out. We weren't big believers in sleep masks. I thought they were going to be too big, too hot, too bulky, but Manta Sleep Mask changed that perception for me. These sleep masks are so comfortable. You can change the cup around your eye and find a custom fit. That way the mask finds your comfortability. With these pillows around your eyes, you feel zero pressure. And with a 100% blackout technology, you can go to sleep anytime, day or night, no matter how erratic your sleep schedule is. You can go with the sound mask, the pro mask, the silk mask, or just the sleep mask. You should go check out their website by clicking the link we have provided for you in the description below and read up on which option sounds best for you. But regardless of which mask you choose, use our code ACU10 at checkout and receive a 10% discount that we have secured through Manta Sleep for you, Chiefs Kingdom. Again, go to the description, find the link, find the mask you want to try out, use code ACU10 and get yourself some of the best sleep you've ever had in preparation of this long football season.
Heck yeah, Mike. You know what? I think I might do that here in a minute. After this live stream, in between work, in between jobs, I might go put that Manta sleep mask on and take a nap.
Yeah, I got to do something to block out all the haters. I got to relax. Get the blood pressure down, Have a good day. Steve, you know what helps, though? When you get good news like Jaylen Watson coming back.
Jaylen Watson, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just rolling in here and you haven't heard yet, the Chiefs cornerback is returning from the IR. Jaylen Watson is back, folks.
Sir Jaylen.
Mike, that's great news for the Chiefs getting ready to go into this playoff run. That just adds depth, if anything else. If nothing else, it adds depth to the cornerback room.
Yeah.
And I think that's something to be horned about. So do your boys a favor. Hit that like button if you're a little horned for Jaylen Watson being back, baby, for this playoff run. Mike, we got a 10 bomb from Greg Goodwin. He says, Happy New Year's to the GOATs of podcasts. Thanks for the gas, Greg. We'll take it. He said, Chiefs snubs for everything is BS. Love to ACU. Mike, what do you think's more absurd? Just real quick, and then we're going to talk more about Jaylen Watson after we finish these chats up. But real quick, what's the biggest snub for you? I know you said that Trent McDuffie being snubbed is probably more absurd than Patrick Mahomes. But do you hold like what's the biggest one? Because to me, I think it's the fact that Andy Reid doesn't get mentioned for Coach of the Year.
Yeah, that's huge.
I think that's insane.
That's huge. Look, if you're not going to give it to O'Connell from the Vikings, then it doesn't need to go anywhere.
Well, here's the thing.
There's not many people that could take a rookie quarterback drafted, giving up draft capital to, or I don't even know if they give up the capital. He may have fell to him. But anyways, they draft J.J. McCarthy. He gets injured, and you have to go with Sam Darnold.
Right.
And you're now at the top of the heap in the NFC, which the NFC is kind of trash anyway. There's no good quarterbacks in the NFC. They're all garbage. That's why they think Jaden Daniels is God's gift to the world. But still, he's done a good job. You cannot look at the Chiefs, or you cannot look seriously to the moron in Detroit and say he's dealt with injuries and Dan Campbell's this and that and everything else. Big deal. Well, if that doesn't apply to Andy Reid, it doesn't apply to Dan Campbell.
Well, here's the thing, man. I've actually seen some people say this on X, and I've seen it here in our chat at one point. But people will say, well, Coach of the Year, it's not about who's the best coach. It's about who, blew away everybody's expectations. I don't think that's the criteria.
Did Dan Campbell blow away your expectations this year? We all knew Detroit. They were a Super Bowl favorite going into the year.
When they decided to have the award, Coach of the Year, do you think, Mike, that it meant best coach in the NFL that year? Or do you think it meant...
Oh, yeah. Or who won 6 games with the worst team in football?
Right, yeah. I don't think so. And look... Here's the thing about I don't know what criteria they go by, whoever votes this crap, but
they don't know either, Steve. It's just every other year's a new criteria to give
every
it to
other
they
year
want.
they give it to Kevin Stefanski.
What's that done for his career?
I don't understand. Like, why would he ever be the coach? Like, get out of here. What are you doing?
It's just ridiculous. It's either the kid from the Vikings or you give it to Andy Reid.
It's Andy Reid.
It's one of those two, but nobody else should even be in the conversation.
Cares about the Vikings. The Vikings, they haven't won the last 2 Super Bowls. They didn't come off of 2 Super Bowl victories with a 15-1 season. I mean, get out of here. Andy should be.
Well, people keep saying,
down.
well, you can't let Patrick be in the MVP race, and you can't put him in the Pro Bowl, and you can't let Andy do that because of past accomplishments. I think that does have to factor in, because when you're a 2-time back-to-back Super Bowl champion, you are now getting everyone's A++ shot, and nobody is giving a team that was 2-10, at the first 12 games of last season, and then they won 3 or 4 at the end of the year. And then they start this year. Nobody's giving them the same amount of respect week in and week out as what we're getting. No. So it is harder to do it at our place at the mountain. It really is. People just don't understand that. They don't get it. If you don't win, you don't understand it. So that loser mentality over there.
P. Water with the 5 bomb says if they really thought it was rigged, they would be taking their paychecks to the bookies. They can go beat it with their own tears. Chiefs Kingdom. Let's go.
When P. Water says that they can beat it with their own tears, that's the line of the day. All of these jerks can go jerk with the cry tears, the saltiness. It may burn the pee hole a little bit, P. Water. But don't, that's what they get. They get a little pee burning.
These guys are losers. This probably happened at least once in their life, right? JCP with another 5 bomb says NFL team penalty yards per game. Chiefs are ranked 15th out of 32 this year. But it's rigged for the Chiefs, JCP. It's the refs. And maybe that's why Andy can't win Coach of the Year, because he's the one that's paying the refs. You think?
According to every casual, every media network, every sports writer, yes, we're 15-1 because the NFL has just made us be 15-1. We've won our Super Bowls because they've just given them to us. There's nobody on this team good.
Who stopped? Like, here's what I want to know. Was it Roger Goodell? Was it someone behind the scenes? Like, who stopped 6 or 7 years ago and was like, you know what? You know who's an underappreciated franchise that just should be the spotlight?
Middle America,
it's the Chiefs.
Small market, Kansas City. Let's go ahead and just not pick a coastal team or the Cowboys, who are just a few miles south. Right. Let's go ahead and just take, Patrick Mahomes, this curly-headed little guy from Texas that nobody knows about. some big Yeti looking dude that may date Taylor Swift in a few years. We don't know, but
that's part of the script too. They were like, you know what?
They scripted his entire life.
After they win a little bit, we're gonna have one of them date Taylor Swift, and just really set it over the top.
What world did these clowns live in?
Clown world.
I guess you have to be a complete clown to be like a fan of like the Cowboys or something. Like that's one. I don't know why Dallas is catching strays.
Can
right
confirm.
Now.
Can confirm.
Look, I don't know why they're catching strays, but look, I was walking around the other day and I seen someone have a Dallas Cowboys hoodie on, and I looked over, and it just amazed me at this point. And I was like,
it's not the 90s anymore.
There is nothing more delusional in this world to wake up every day and put on a Cowboys jersey and think you're going to win something. You know how they do that every year? This is our year. Like, nobody can do that anymore except for the Chiefs. We're the only ones that can wake up and put this jersey on and say, we got a great chance of taking another Super Bowl this year, ladies and gents. Everybody else, clown world.
Chief Royal Hawk with a 5 bomb says, rather be disrespected and have 3 Super Bowl rings or get all the love and have 0 rings, i.e. Allen, Burrow, and Jackson. That's the whole thing about it, man. No one really cares. It irritates us as fans that's like, well, what do you really have to do to get respect from and not just the media, but the world in general, all football fans? And the answer is you can't. You can't gain the respect of a bunch of slapnuts. It's impossible.
It's never going to happen.
Just like in life, Mike. You have people in your life, you could bend over backwards for them. You could do anything for them and really be there consistently for years, and they will still screw you over at the drop of a hat.
You're the one that is so reliable that they feel comfortable screwing you over.
Yeah.
They do it without a second thought. That's the Chiefs. The Chiefs have just come the punching bags because, like I said, it draws the clicks. It draws all the love from all 31 other fan bases. You know,
but you
it's
know
easy.
what? You know what?
But Steve, that's the Chiefs and Petty Pat. At this point, you want to talk about getting fired up to win a third one? At this point, for me, it's not about breaking history. If I was Pat, it's not about any of that. It's to prove everyone completely wrong. And I'm playing at this point for just pure. You're going to respect me because you have no choice. I'm going to keep winning until you admit it that you were wrong.
Right.
That would be my motivation until I retired.
If you just keep going, man.
This may start Patrick Mahomes' villain arc. This could have been the thing.
Do you think he's somewhere in a dimly lit room right now?
He's in his cave.
Maybe a fire going so you can see it flashing on his face, you know, the reflection.
You see
and it's just a Do you think that's what's happening?
Yeah, and Brittany's somewhere like, Patrick, change the diaper up here. Thanks, bro.
Come on, Bronze took a dump.
She's like, I can't get off the couch, dude. Like, help me. And he's just down there saying, whoa.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Chief Royal Hawk. Mike, our boy, Justin, with the gifted freaking membership. Let's go, Justin. Appreciate you, my man. If you get that membership, make sure to thank Justin in the chat. And we got our boy, Cobra Kai Ty, with a 10 bomb. He says, I'm okay with losing this game this weekend so we can shoot Huday's ass, not in the playoffs. I'm same. It's whatever. Like, no matter how this plays out, it doesn't matter this week. It doesn't. Like, worst case scenario, the Chiefs lose, right? And it's funny because they just screwed over Cincinnati. So, like, it really doesn't matter. This, Mike, this is the only game of the entire season that we can watch stress-free. The Chiefs Chiefs fans can truly watch this weekend stress-free. Okay? Because it doesn't matter. If they lose, it's still funny.
You know what?
That doesn't happen often.
Yeah. I don't like the Bengals at all. I think that's pretty easy to determine. It's our location. It's their fan base. It's just all the things. The Burrowhead and this and that. But you know what? I give a little bit of a pass to Burrow. Burrow's not the one that come out and claims he's the Patrick Mahomes kryptonite and he's Burrow. He never said it. If he said it, I'd have destroyed him. In my opinion, Burrow is the one getting screwed here besides Mahomes in the MVP race because his numbers are so much better than Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. He is a true quarterback. He doesn't pad it by running, okay? He doesn't do it. He's a true pocket passer, so everything he does, he earns from the pocket just about. He's got a team with an atrocious defense. They don't help him one single bit unless they're playing the Chiefs, and then all of a sudden they become the 85 Bears. Okay. He's had to play. He had a 0% chance of getting into the playoffs, and he is literally fighting in last week. He's got a chance to get in. And it's all him. Him and Jamar Chase, and I'll give it to the offense. I mean, he's got some good playmakers. But still, if you want to look at what a most valuable player is, I feel like Burrow is probably that to the Bengals compared to what everybody else is doing. In my opinion, Burrow deserves the MVP more than Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. If you want to look at pure numbers, he beats them. If you want to look at where your team is, yeah, he might miss the playoffs, but he's not on a loaded team. He don't have 10 Pro Bowlers on the roster like the Ravens do. Okay?
Well, I could argue the fact that he has a Pro Bowl team as a wide receiving core.
He does have good wide receivers, but that's it. He don't have an offensive line that blocks for him.
Doesn't matter. Just throw it up. Jamar T's going to catch the ball.
I'm just saying. He doesn't have the same defense. He don't have the same caliber of players around him.
I agree.
And he's still got better numbers. So if you're looking at numbers, that's your guy. If you're looking at team wins, if the numbers isn't the metric, and now you've got to have numbers and wins, well, now it has to go to Mahomes.
Somewhere along the lines, this became the Lamar Jackson Award. And
they try to give it to Josh Allen every year.
Yeah. Flapjack with a 5 bomb says, someone make me a meme of Mahomes kicking Allen down the hole in the movie 300. If you can do that, get that video over to Flapjack because he needs it.
That'd be fun. Brent asked, how are you most valuable with 8 losses? Well, because Lamar Jackson's in there and he's got 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And he's got 10 Pro Bowlers on his team.
Right.
He's got a top 5, top 10 defense. He's padding half of his production comes from running the ball.
Derrick Henry is also in the MVP conversation. That's 2 people on the same team. Is that not an oxymoron, if I've ever heard it? And then on top of that, he already is the best single season Raven running back of all time. And we're talking about Lamar Jackson being the MVP. Like, get it out of here.
In my opinion, if Lamar Jackson doesn't play on that team, if he was injured,
they'd probably win the same amount of games. They're
probably still at the same amount of games because the defense and Derrick Henry, and they would have figured out, they would have just relied more on the running game.
Yeah. Well, that's what they do anyway.
Josh Allen off the Bills may be a different story. So I think that's where Josh Allen maybe gets the little MVP chunk nod over.
It's a slap nut.
But so again, they don't care about. They're not caring about how many wins you pull in, because if that's the case, why does it matter? What's wins and losses matter if you don't put Patrick Mahomes in the conversation?
Mike, JCP with the 2 bomb says McDuffie PFF ranked number 2 of all cornerbacks.
Yeah.
He is.
Who's the only one above him? Surtain?
Pat Surtain Jr. That's it.
Who are the 4? Who are the 4 corners that got in on the AFC? Have you even looked? I was so pissed off I didn't even look at who got in.
No.
I'm pretty sure it's probably the kid from the Browns. I would say Pat Surtain got in.
Let's see here.
Did they let frickin' Derek Stingley in? That's the only other one I could think of. But Stingley had a pretty good year.
You? Would that surprise you?
No, he did have a pretty good year, though.
I know, but come on. Mike, they gave it, this is real life. Yes. Marlon Humphrey from the Ravens.
Marlon Humphrey shouldn't have been. Marlon Humphrey gets burned so much.
Derek Stingley Jr. from the Texans.
I can see Derek Stingley getting it.
Denzel Ward from the Browns and Pat Surtain the second.
You should have replaced Marlon Humphrey with Trent McDuffie, and it would have been fine. I'd have rolled with it.
Mike, speaking of cornerbacks, Jaylen Watson is back. He's back, baby. We saw him running. We knew that there was a chance that he could come back. We had a whole episode about it. And people said it couldn't happen, Mike. They said we were clickbaiting. They said that we were idiots. Said you're stupid. Get over it. It's not happening. Here we are. How excited are you to have Jaylen Watson back for the playoff run? And how much does that help this team in this playoff run coming up?
It helps. I don't think it's monumental. I don't think if Jaylen Watson could contribute, I don't think if they would have never opened the 21-day window and he wouldn't have got back, I would have still been just as bullish on the Chiefs anyway. Because the Chiefs are fine. Like, I've been trying to say this all year. There was never a CB2 issue in Kansas City. I don't care what anybody wanted to make a narrative about. There wasn't.
No.
Not at one point did the CB2 ever cost us a single game.
Right.
We won every freaking game, and it was because of our defense, not in spite of it. Like, that's the thing. Yes, they had a few down plays here and there. You play 900 plays a year. You're going to have 2% of them be bad plays because, surprise, surprise, you're going up against wide receivers that make triple your amount of money.
Right.
They're going to make plays. All the rules, all the officials, all the calls go for the offense. Like, you're going to have that. But even as bad as Najee Johnson looked at times, he still showed up and made big plays when it needed. Josh Williams didn't. He may have had a penalty here and there, but boy, he come out of nowhere and had a beautiful, ball batted down last week, and he had this dude's been playing ball. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal, but Jaylen Watson does help. So the Chiefs, if you're on Madden, our defense goes from like a 92 to a 94 maybe with Jaylen Watson back. Okay.
Right.
But otherwise, it's never about the defense here in Kansas City. It's not been about the defense. The defense has been good, and we've been almost a defensive team, but it's because we've had to by default, because the offense couldn't figure out a way to score points.
Well, statistically, it's a top 5 defense in the
Exactly.
league.
But
Again.
still, if the defense was giving up 19 and 20 points, and every game was coming down to the wire. Because why? Our offense could not put 7 on the board. When the offense figures out how to score points again, and they've been trending in the right direction, this team is a juggernaut. So it did not matter. Like, that's my point. Like, we were talking about how the CB2 was so bad all year long. Like, literally from week 7 on, we've been talking about how the CB2 has been a horrible thing. We need this, we need that. We lost one game, okay, and that had nothing to really do with the corner. That was Spags calling a zone on 4th and 2 and Josh Allen getting lucky and running it in for 40 yards, okay. But also, if our offense would have put up any points that game, we would have still won. We were giving up 20 points a game, and we can't barely outscore 20 points a game with our offense. That's absurd. It's always about the offense here. The defense is great. I get it. But it's about how much the offense can score. Because if our offense can hit 30 a game consistently, nobody's touching us.
No, you're exactly right, man. Like, if our any time that we have a top 5 defense, it literally becomes about the offense, right? It does.
If you get a top 15 defense with this team, we should be able to trounce people on a weekly basis.
Mike, we've talked about it. The whole back half of the year, Patrick Mahomes has the best offense that he's had his entire career. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you look at the receiving core right now, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Without Rashee Rice.
We're talking about last year having the worst receiving room possibly I've ever seen in the NFL. To this year, that now you're looking at your wide receiver 4 is Juju Smith-Schuster.
Mm-hmm. I think there's been one big blunder
2
this
years
year.
ago. 2 years ago was our number 1.
One big blunder. You're going to agree with it. If you have a brain, you're going to agree with it. There's no way you can say this is wrong. This is 100% right. Brett Veach had one big blunder this offseason, and that was the left tackle position. If this team would have shored up left tackle from week 2 or 3 on, we would be undefeated right now, and it would be blowout central. You'd be seeing what we've seen versus the Steelers, what we've seen versus the Texans. You would see that week in and week out. But instead, they relied on a second-year guy and a rookie that, to be honest, Steve, we even had him falling down draft boards. We eventually had him as a first-round pick, but we eventually put him into the second round. And to be honest, second round may have been a little too much for him. But you don't draft off what they're ready to do. You draft off potential. I get it. So he went where he should have went. He showed what he showed. He's not ready yet. The Chiefs should have been able to identify that. They should have had a plan in place. They didn't. They decided to go with Wanye Morris, who's not a left tackle either. So the Chiefs set themselves up for this because all you had to do was keep Mahomes in the pocket, upright and comfortable, and Mahomes would have had 6,000 yards this year.
Right. Well, shout out Brett Veach. He did try to fix the situation, but he waited way too long. Waiting all the way to get DJ Humphries was that's the wrong thing to do.
Yeah,
you sit on your hands for too long. And that's the thing. DJ Humphrey, he'll be playing this weekend. So
yeah, I hope.
What do we do going into the playoffs, Mike? That's something we can talk about for just a couple minutes here. You stick with Tooney and Mike Caliendo, right? Like, you don't change what's working. That's wild.
The only way I don't is if Jawaan Taylor comes out this week and he proves that he is great.
You mean
game
DJ
shape.
Humphrey?
Yeah, DJ Humphrey. I'm sorry. He proves he's in great game shape. He proves that he is just agile. He's completely over the hamstring, and he looks like a complete brick wall. That's the only way I consider it, because he's still going to have 3 weeks now to game plan.
But is just 1 week?
2 weeks.
Is that no? Just 1 week of being good. Is that enough to trust in the playoff run?
Is it enough to trust?
Or do you look at Joe Tooney, what he's done in the last 3 weeks?
It's hard to take Tooney and Caliendo out because it has looked good. But I'm just saying, if there was a reason to do it, it would have to be he would have to look super dominant this week. I'm talking 0, everything across the board.
Right, I agree, but I say you stick with Tooney. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Peter Ortiz with the 50 bomb. Let's go, Peter. Let's go. Thanks for the support, my man.
Let's go.
We appreciate that. That goes a long way. You all show him some love in the chat. Appreciate you, Peter.
Nukes in the chat. Nukes in the chat.
Nukes. You know what? I'm going to put it back up just for a little while. We'll just let it be there.
Just let it marinate.
Let it marinate.
Just let it marinate.
Appreciate you,
as long as this is up, you keep throwing nukes at Peter.
Peter's a legend. A legend. Always supporting. We appreciate you. Yeah, I think you stick with Tooney. I think you ride it out. I mean, here's the thing about it. Joe Tooney, not only did he literally kill it, dude. Like, I mean, Joe Tooney was a badass for the last few weeks. And
he's nasty, dude.
Like, it wasn't against just anybody. It was against Myles Garrett. It was against TJ Watt. It was against the best 2 edge rushers in the entire NFL.
Mm-hmm.
The best 2. And you can't argue with me about that. You could try to throw Max Crosby in there, but he's not on their level. When's Max Crosby had 20-plus sacks?
I think they're probably the top 2 consistently. Some people think TJ Watt's a little overrated.
That's crazy.
Depends. But you know what? Definitely Myles Garrett's up there. But
TJ
Joe
Watt
Tooney has just
overrated
been a beast.
Is wild. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Joe Tooney's been a beast. That's all there is to it.
If you go look at the numbers, TJ Watt's probably been the best.
Look,
that's wild.
If DJ Humphries plays this week, and he's probably going to, if he plays and he struggles, he's out for the playoffs. Like, I'm sorry, he's there as a backup emergency guy only. But does that mean in the offseason, would you pay Tooney left tackle money and be like, look, stay here for 2 or 3 years and be a left tackle for me?
And retire
Here as a left tackle. Would you do it?
Yes.
Or would you say, look, we'll maybe pay you as a guard. You may have to walk. We're going to save that money and go get a big tackle. Because here's my thing. I don't know how many big left tackles there's going to be available for you. And you cannot trust the draft again going into
that's up to Joe
32nd pick in the first round.
I think it's up to Joe Tooney. And I think if he decided, hey, let's do left tackle. You know, it's so late in my career. I've been prolific at left. I've been the best left guard. Like, let me try something different. Let me, I don't know, a little bit of juice at the end of the career, something to play for, and make extra money, make more money, and I can retire with the Chiefs, who I've won multiple Super Bowls with.
Steve, do you like Ray Ray's idea? He says to stick with Tooney and Caliendo at left tackle, and maybe you try DJ Humphries at right tackle. If people are kind of off the Jawaan Taylor, I totally get it. Jawaan Taylor, $80 million was way too much for him.
But no, he's still bad.
But I honestly don't think he's played as bad as it seems.
He does. He never plays bad. He had a stretch where there was like 2 games, maybe 3, where it was a little But, I mean, let's be honest here.
I think he gets a little unfairly picked on with penalties.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen several penalties this year where he was called for a false start that wasn't a false start.
That hold against TJ Watt wasn't even a hold. He had him right here. That's well inside
the pads, and there was nothing holding about it. It just wasn't holding. So, like, that's the thing. And it's even if it's not his fault, Mike, he's still a drive killer sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
Just by them picking on him.
He's not worth 80.
No.
So I understand why Chiefs fans are totally out on Jawaan Taylor. I'm not completely out on Jawaan Taylor, but look, for $80 million, I would be out. Like, I think Brett Veach has got to go to him in the offseason and try to rework a deal. If you want to stick with him for the next 3 or 4 years, I'd almost be fine with it, but you're going to have to get the money down to the right point. If not, he's going to play 1 more year and he needs to be out the door because he can't be cut this year. It's too much. His out's next year.
Mike, our girl Valerie here. Shout out Valerie. She supports the channel very, very consistently, and we appreciate you, Valerie. She says that Taylor just has penalties at the absolute worst times. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up, is it because he commits penalties at the worst times, or is it because he's that guy that gets picked on, and when they want to conveniently throw a penalty flag for some reason, it can be on Jawaan Taylor because everybody in the world is going to believe it.
Right.
Jawaan Taylor gets all the penalties.
And it's always just funny. Chiefs get all the calls. Chiefs get them at the right time. The Chiefs have had more touchdowns wiped off the board
Oh, yeah.
than any other team in football besides one. I think one other team's had more.
Mike, and this is every year.
I actually think the Bills have had more wiped off, which is strange because Josh Allen gets literally every call I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever watched a game with the Bills where I've seen a bad call go against the Bills. But somehow, when you look at the metrics, they say that they get calls like that.
Right.
It's odd. Like every time Josh Allen, he is such a flopper. The wind could literally pick up a little bit and this dude would fall down. 280 pounds flopping around like an idiot. He's like Ben Roethlisberger if Ben Roethlisberger was a pansy.
Josh Allen's a sissy.
He is.
He really is.
Steve, could you beat Josh Allen up in a fight?
Yes.
If you were UFCing with Josh Allen, I think he'd destroy you.
That's the thing. He's stronger than me. He's stronger. He's stronger
He's a
than
better
me.
athlete.
He's younger than me.
He's going to crush you.
No, I'd still beat him up.
You're going to make him tap?
I'd beat up Josh Allen. Have you seen him?
This is fun. I don't know how we've got here.
Dude,
This guy really thinks he can beat up Josh Allen.
100%.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Steve, I don't think I could beat up his girlfriend.
Mike, there's
She would kill
no
me in the
possible
UFC.
way. There's no possible way that I would let Josh Allen beat me in a fight.
Steve, we're lovers, not fighters, baby.
I would never fight him to begin with, but I'm just saying if I had
There's
to,
a reason you would fight him to begin.
no way that dude's beating me up.
Oh,
bro.
my God. This is a
Not
wild
a
claim.
chance. It's not a wild claim. It's not a wild claim. He's got a soft chin. I'd knock him out in probably less than 30 seconds.
I mean, you're right about that. He does have a soft chin.
Besides, all I have to do is swing at him. He's going to fall down and act like he
I
died.
bet he flinches.
He's going to.
He'd be looking for the UFC official trying to get a flag.
Yeah, dude.
This is wild. We got to set up a fight. The next, the backyard brawl. What does
I'll do
Barstool
it.
do?
Well, here's the thing about it. I'm not going by rules. There's no rules. If it's a fight, there's no rules. And I'm winning. There's just no doubt about
Shakur
it.
says you'll put your own man strength on him.
Absolutely.
Steve, I don't know if you're that old. Are you old enough to have old man strength yet?
Well, I'm getting ready to hit 40 next month.
I don't think you get old man strength till you're like 60, right? It's like a superpower that comes after your 59th birthday.
I don't know, dude.
Like, I bet Pops has got some old man strength. He does. Yeah. One time, me and Pops had to push a car that was dead. It wouldn't start, so we had to push it up a hill in neutral. And Pops is just down there like freaking Joe Tooney, just pushing up the hill. And I look like Joe Tooney's grandma over here. And Pops is like, let's go. And I look over, and he's just doing it by himself. And I'm like, what is happening, old man strength? I just sat down, kicked up my feet, and watched Pops push it up a hill. I couldn't even help at that point. I was hurting.
Hey, Valerie knows I got it. She knows I got it. Flip with the 5-1. What's up, Flip? He says, fan favorite Justin Ross has been playing lights out this season. Glad he made the team. He's been making a huge difference.
I felt like I would have loved to have seen Justin. I feel like this was an opportune time for maybe Justin Ross to get to the show and see what he's got. And we continued to not do it. So from this point on, why does Justin Ross need to ever be on this roster in any capacity? There's no point. So when we get to camp next year and Justin Ross makes a catch, no. Not doing it.
Not happening.
I'm saying I'll do it. No, I'm
Mike, there's a couple haters in the chat that just
Satan
think that Josh Allen could just truck me over and that'd be the end.
He might.
Do you think I'm just going to let him truck me? Like, what? How does that work in a fight?
But he's like he's deception. What's the word called? Deceptive. He's deceptive fast.
Do you think like we're just going to line each other up and hit like football? Like, what are we doing?
You got to have like an Oklahoma drill. If you did an Oklahoma drill with Josh Allen, would you win?
No, he'd beat me at that.
Are you guys wearing pads during this fight?
No. I thought it was just old regular, like, hey,
UFC.
he pissed me off, or I pissed him off.
Oh my God!
And then, I don't know.
Can somebody contact Josh Allen and let's set this up? Steve, I don't know about it. Like, look, I don't like
No,
Josh
no, no,
Allen
no.
either, but
No,
I'm
here's
gonna
the
say
thing.
he'd probably knock me out.
No, here's the thing. There's no time to prepare either. We're not setting a date and then working towards it.
You're not
That's
doing like
it.
the Jake Paul Tyson fight?
No, it's like you just run into each other on the street and something happens and you just get mad and you start fighting. Then he's done. He's done. He's toast. He's cooked, Mike.
I don't know about it.
Well, I do. Hey, we appreciate you guys being here, by the way. Do us a favor. Click that like button on the way out if you haven't already. Shout out to BetUS for powering this live stream. Shout out to freaking Flapjack for the last second 5 bomb. Of course, Tua's. That's unfair. And I'm not about hurting people, okay? Not about actually hurting people. So Tua's out the window.
Who's got the better? Look, I went to a restaurant and they were naming foods after celebrities and players. Who would be the better sandwich name? A tuna fish sandwich or a Tua fish sandwich? Which would win your battle?
Say it again.
A tuna fish sandwich or a Tua fish sandwich?
Well, it depends on where it's at. Because if you're in Florida, you're going with a Tua.
You're just in Kentucky, so they don't really have a. They don't
You
have
gotta-
a.
I think you got to go Tua just because he's a more well-known name. Like a lot of
And he
people
plays
don't
for
know
the
who
Dolphins, so it's kind of like a fish.
A lot of people don't know who Joe Tooney is. Now, if it's in Kansas City, the tuna fish sandwich, all day, every day.
Steve Chiefers brought up a point here before we head out.
What we got?
He said that this is a big episode, ladies and gents. We did hit the 40,000 mark. We've hit the 40,000 mark. Round of applause to everybody here. We did hit the 40,000 mark. Thanks to everybody for subscribing. And we're not stopping at 40.
Let's
We're
go,
not gonna
baby.
stop. We're not going to stop. We're not going nowhere.
Let's go.
Look,
hey,
people can hate us. They can dog on us. They can say, Steve, they can say, your cameras aren't good as the competition. You guys aren't, you're not radio friendly like the competition. You don't have, I don't know. What else can they say?
you're not as popular. You're not as well accepted.
You're not as good looking,
You're
I
not
guess.
you're not as PC. You don't.
You know what I say about suck it? I don't care.
Yeah, suck it. Who cares?
I'm here to talk Chiefs football, not be everybody's PC friend.
Be their best friend.
I'm having fun doing the YouTube thing. I'm having fun talking football. And you know what? 40,000, just the beginning. We're going to keep going.
We only have
We're gonna keep
10,000
going.
more.
Appreciate you
10,000
guys.
more before the Super Bowl. We just need
Bam
10,000
says you're
more.
not as bald as the competition. Are you talking about Cole? I would say that if Stephen Cole had a bald off, now that is one thing that I think you could win. Maybe
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if you beat Josh Allen in a street fight, but you may beat
Oh,
Cole
definitely.
in a bald off.
No, he would win that one, I think. I don't know, though. I don't know Cole well enough. I've not been around him enough to see if he shaves his head because he's bald or if he shaves his head just because.
Good point.
You know?
The only person that's really going to tell us this is Danielle. She
We'll
would be the
find out.
only one that would tell us the truth because I think Cole would lie about it.
You think so?
If he was completely bald, he would say, I shave it for the fun.
Well, see, that's the thing. If I didn't shave my head, I would have hair.
That's true.
I don't know if Cole would.
So that's what you're trying to say.
So he might win the bald off. I don't know.
I don't know what the rules of the bald off is, but we should determine those and have it one day. I just like it.
Right after the fight with Josh Allen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, do us a favor, hit that like button on the way out. Shout out BetUS for powering this live stream. We appreciate all you guys that have donated and supported the channel today. You guys are freaking amazing. Special shout out to Peter Ortiz with the freaking 50 bomb. Let's go, Peter. Thanks for being a legend. But yeah, we'll be back. Mike, just real quick, right before I hit this outro button, let's fastest as you can game prediction for the Broncos game.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even consider it a real game. I think the Chiefs actually pull off the win. I think they.
Let's do it.
I think
Let's
they piss
go.
off the Broncos. And
Yeah,
knock them out of the
Carson
playoffs.
Wentz, baby.
Yeah, I think it
Carson
happens.
Wentz.
I'm going to say the Chiefs win like 23-22. Let's just say it's a wild score at the end of it. Looks like a Little League baseball game.
Look, man, Denver has one of the best defenses in the league. They are literally fighting for their life. If they win this game, they're in the playoffs. That's all they have to do. So they're going to be playing.
Still their soul.
Look, Carson Wentz, he's hanging 30 on them. On the best defense in the league.
Player of the game.
Carson Wentz.
I'm going to go Carson still. We're going to have a double Carson.
Ooh, Carson squared.
We're going to have two Carsons working. What kind of NFL team has ever had two Carsons on the field at the same time?
Might be a record.
It's a record for Carsons is what it is.
Chiefs
Jaylen
win.
Watson's coming back. Chiefs win.
There goes a sight from my soul.